So it's Tuesday, one trade, break even for the day. There was no news today, and for that reason, price took the nearest liquidity pool, which was the highs set in yesterday's New York morning session, rather than the buy side that I'd marked out just above it. So something to learn. If we did have a news driver, then it would be more likely that price would have probably pushed up and hit TP. However, if I had targeted the higher that it had hit, my risk to reward would have been like 0.9 to 1, which is not great. You know what I mean? It's not worth taking that trade. So I may as well just go for the 2 to 1 as I did, and manage it a bit more, move to break even at the points that I've marked out. So you can see here price looking a little bit more retracey / bullish today, and yeah, we're gonna get into it. So got the order block from yesterday that we tapped but went into on Nasdaq. So with that in mind, pushed down, and then we had some bullish price action today. So we're gonna get into the 15-minute. So yeah, these were the highs set yesterday. This was where my break-even point actually was, and this buy side up here was my target. So just gonna hop onto the hourly. Oops, move that back. And yeah, you can see I was targeting these highs with the hope that we would, fill the rest of this imbalance in, probably go 2 standard deviations up, and then come back down. Before I got into the trade, I marked out these 2 points. This 3-minute fair value gap here. I was thinking initially, we could see this pull down. So after we retraced into this fair value gap, we see that pull down, and then we hit the fair value gap down here. However, price was looking quite bullish today, and that was something that I took into consideration. You look from here, it looks pretty bullish, right? You know what I mean? Accumulate from opening, push up, retrace, fill that, push up again, and then right at the start of the New York Open around 9:30, we come down. Looks like a manipulation / Judas swing to bring us down into this imbalance to then push up to take these highs up here. So that was the overall idea for the trade. I had another idea where I thought it was going to go afterwards or at the same time, but I felt more bullish on this one, so I went long. Simple, really. So at the time, I was looking at, I believe, the 1-minute chart. Yeah, so we hit this fair value gap here. Traded up, there's no imbalances here to really fill in. So I was thinking, we'll probably come off the top of this fair value gap, push up. But, we traded back down through the order block, and then started making our way back up. So I was pretty happy with that at the time. As you can see on the 3-minute chart, it looks a bit more convincing. There was a lot of just up and down movement within the smaller time frames, just gradually pushing up a little bit higher. So we did eventually hit the break-even point at 10 New York time, and at this point I moved my stop from under this low. I didn't put it down here because it seemed like it was holding pretty bullish, so I just wanted to keep it relatively low risk and good R. Because if I put this down here, it wouldn't have been worth taking. And I just felt with the price action, we'd probably be more likely to come up here before we see it move down. Simple as that. And so once we actually hit break even, we had a lot of chop. So this is what I mean when I say there was no news drivers today, no red folder news. So if there had been some, we'd probably be more likely to come up and take this. But yeah, of course, yeah, all of that. With that in mind, it's one of them. I'm not mad about this. Bit of a bummer, but it happens. It's just what I learn for next time, innit? To further point out where my targets were, you can see we've got one standard deviation on the fib here, and that goes all the way up. My fib, I think, is set out on the 1 minute or the 3 minute, probably 3 minute. Yeah, oh, it's moved again. Maybe the 15 minute. So like, yeah, pretty much 15 minute. Like, there's this range down the manipulation leg, target up here. Yeah, it's one of them. I was looking whilst we were up here. Price did start to trade down a bit more down a bit. I was aware that we did have a breaker structure on the way back down. I'll show you that in the higher time frame. But the thing that kept me in this trade was this imbalance here. I was thinking we might get lucky and, you know, price comes down here and bounces back up for the final push. Like you can see, when did we actually get there? You know, around 11:15. So I was hoping, you know, maybe at 11 o'clock we'd see that final push before that moved down during the lunchtime and so on. But we didn't get that. So what we actually got is, let's just move this. I'll take this fib out for now. So you can't really see it here, but we got a breaker structure. This candle closed below this last up candle. Had all the block here. So it's one of those. We created a fair value gap from here. Price traces back up into it. You got an order block here. If you drag that across, you know, lines up pretty nicely to come down, target these lows. Not these lows, this 3 minute fair value gap before taking out all of these. So yeah, this one, not really too much more to it, to be honest. What can we expect going into the rest of the week? I think tomorrow we've got news. I always forget, I have to remind myself all the time. So tomorrow we've got FOMC meeting minutes, and that's at 7 PM UK time, so that's like what? The start of the PM session, New York time. And yeah, so it's one of them. I probably will leave it tomorrow. Just wanted to test the waters today, just because it is still uncertain market conditions. But yeah, with all that in mind, break even, can't really complain. Happy with that. Happy with how I managed to trade. And yeah, I'm gonna call it there, and I'll see you tomorrow.